The US dollar has long been the world's #1 denomination in world currency supply. It represents 62% of total holdings in foreign exchange in central banks around the world. But it is in for a tough race from up-and-coming strong currencies. The Japanese yen and the Chinese yuan are both giving the Americans a good run for their money. The Swiss franc is too, surprisingly. There is $6 trillion in foreign exchange holdings around the world at any given time, on average, and the US dollar represents almost two-thirds of that. The dollar as we know it went belly up in 1971. It has been a dead currency walking ever since. All monopolies are bad. A US dollar monopoly is also in that category. The power that comes with a monopoly, hegemony, is usually abused, and then the abused people rebel and create a war. The powers that be, those who control the flow and value of currency, the International Monetary Fund and the central banks, see the imminent demise of the dollar and are positioning to implement a collapse of the world economy so that they can trot out their one world global digital cryptocurrency that they will have total control of. They will cause the collapse through quantitative tightening and increasing interest rates, which will have a catastrophic impact not only on the US economy but also the world's as well. This will be blamed on failed Trump economic policies resulting in his not winning a second term, additionally setting the stage for the banksters' wet dream of a one-world digital currency. US dollar does not need to collapse. Only to devalue massively against gold. Then a multipolar currency world could emerge with free-floating fiat currencies. No reserve currency, only reserve asset gold. Multiple bilateral swaps can be easily arranged to facilitate commerce between countries. Currencies would devalue or revalue locally against gold, with international arbitrage as a balancing tool. Easy as pie. Viable. Tools in place. US dollar purchasing power would go down the drain. And also US exorbitant privilege, and military bases offshore. US would still be huge global player, but under same rules as everybody else. Nobody can rebel against the banksters. Saddam Hussein tried and failed and his nation was destroyed. Gaddafi tried, was killed and his nation was destroyed. China tries and trade war, media attacks, civil unrest ensue. It's all about the Benjamins. Those in power, control of the US dollar are the worst kind of criminal mafia, using government assets to keep that power structure and position safe. The central banks coordinate credit growth, so whether it's the greenback or something new, I doubt it will curb $244 trillion in debt plus a mysterious $500 trillion in derivatives. It's all absorbed or moved around eventually, so for those who hate globalism, I'm afraid that setup has been around for 2 decades. The only way to realign the concept of value is to bring back lender regulation, which now would taper credit growth gradually over a decade. They had that opportunity after 2 rounds of QE, but now the options are limited to trade politics, leading to conflict between trading blocs. Not a good plan and a very inefficient method to run a global economy. The impression I get after 20 years of study is this elephant is running wild in the streets. They have lost control and can no longer provide a solution that is manageable politically. Central banks are backed into a corner waiting for Jesus to come to the rescue. The value of the US dollar is based on petrodollar and foreign actors' faith. China and Russia will force the situation, catalyze it. They don't need to do it themselves alone. Roe will pick up the slack, including Saudi Arabia, fundamental in US dollar petrodollar status. Every oil-producing country, emerging markets, Canada, Australia, UK and Eurozone suffer because of US dollar reserve status. Allies for China and Russia will come from everywhere when the conditions are right. At the rate the US is going, sooner or later the US will be reduced to Argentina-like status. This will happen once the banksters have looted everything there is to steal. This was the Atlantis Report. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.